Hello, if you can't tell, I like Batman. You might be able to see that because of my username and profile picture and everything like that, but I haven't really gotten to talk about it on this channel. So today, I've recently seen the film The Batman twice in theaters, and well, we're gonna do a review of that now. So sit your ass in the chair and let's begin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use harsh language. I should control myself. That was just unjust. That was uncalled for. Spoilers! Spoilers!
So yeah, this movie kind of flew under the radar for me until about a week before I saw it. But I started getting excited as soon as I realized just how close it was, because, I mean, I like Batman a lot, and I would have been excited no matter what, but I don't know, this one kind of just, it didn't seem like it was real to me. But I got especially excited when I heard that Matt Reeves was the director. Now, Matt Reeves also made the modern-day Planet of the Apes movies. No, not those ones. No. What's special about those movies is that they were great at taking an interesting and down-to-earth approach to something as ridiculous as monkeys taking over the world. And those movies found a miraculous way to give character to a bunch of CGI apes, all while also having an entertaining story to tell in each film. In those movies, Reeves did a fantastic job with characters and plot, and by the looks of it, that same realism and everything he had with those monkeys was gonna show up in the Batman film. But here's the big question, was that Batman any good? Well, yeah, it was, but it wasn't great. Here's why. So, without a doubt, the best part of this movie are the characters, in particular, Batman and the Riddler. Robert Pattinson is fantastic in this film and gives a new take on the character of Bruce Wayne. In this movie, Bruce ain't just a grumpy Boy Scout, no. This guy is, he's kinda mental. This movie takes place 2 years into his life as Batman, and, well, you can easily tell that he's still developing into the more mature crime fighter you might expect out of him. So, the instability does make sense. And if you want further reasoning as to why he's unhinged, try thinking about how you'd handle yourself if you saw the murder of your parents right in front of you, and then subsequently blamed yourself. And if that isn't enough, last chance for spoilers. You gone? Okay. His entire reasoning to fight crime is thrown into question when he realizes his father, Thomas Wayne, could have been a corrupt politician who paid to kill off a dirt sheet journalist. So yeah, it kinda makes total sense for Pattinson to be kinda crazy. Bruce Wayne in this movie isn't a charming playboy like he was in the original Tim Burton movie. No, no, no. In this, he's a weird loner, grumpy sad boy who sits in his cave all day, dodging meetings he has for Wayne Enterprises with a heavy dosage of insomnia to boot. And for the movies, it's a new take on the character, in both the aspects of Bruce and Batman, and, well, I'm a total fan of it. It is, without a doubt, my favorite movie adaptation of him to date, so there's that. I mean, unless you see Kevin Conroy in Mask of the Phantasm as a cinema Batman, but I don't. But, yeah, if that was the case, Kevin Conroy is still my Batman, though, so, And the Riddler is also much more realistic than, say, Jim Carrey in spandex. There's a big kahuna! Here, Paul Dano, I hope I said that right, does a great job playing f***ing incel Riddler. It sounds ridiculous, but trust me, it's okay. It is well known that Reeves used the Zodiac Killer as inspiration with his idea for the Riddler in this film, and that is very apparent when you're seeing it. But what's even more apparent, and interesting to me, is that Dano is a goddamn, and I quote, pencil neck in this film. He looks like a school shooter, and by the end of the movie, he's what we in the modern world would consider a political terrorist. He plants bombs around the city and blows them up, causing a giant flood, and once that's done, he gets his social media followers to go assassinate the corrupt upper-class people.
Hey guys, thanks for all the comments.
In particular, he has his little cronies target the newly elected mayor while everybody is storming a safe place while everything's flooding. It's crazy. With that said, as crazy as it is, it's incredibly interesting to see such a modern idea of terrorism be inserted into this movie, and honestly, it fits right into not just the film, but the portrayal of the Riddler. Good stuff. Also, the riddles are neat. That's a good thing. Other characters I like are Commissioner Gordon and the Penguin. Both are sources of legitimate fun in this film, while also not ruining the tone. The fun comes from each of their dynamics with Batman, of course. Gordon and Batman have a wonderfully weird friendship dynamic they have in the movie. And the scene where Bruce escapes the police station highlights not just that weird, awesome dynamic, but the action and cinematography of the film as well. It's a great scene. And the Penguin is good. He's good. He's what you'd expect while still being more realistic. That's kind of all I can say for him, though, but he's good. He's good.
But I bet you're wondering why I haven't brought up that other lead character as one of my favorite parts of the film, or characters in the film, or whatever. Well, I'll tell you why I haven't brought her up yet. It's because Catwoman in this film kinda sucks.
Catwoman does not fit tonally. Even when I was watching the trailers for this movie, there were multiple Catwoman lines that made me groan in misery. Maybe we aren't so different after all. The bat and the cat has a good ring to it. Who are you under the mask?
Who are you under there?
Those lines are just all so overused. It hurts my soul. Batman at one point says, "Don't throw your life away, Selina," to which she replies, "Don't worry, I got 9 of them." That's a goddamn Schumacher moment in a movie where multiple people are shown being bludgeoned to death with the blunt instrument. It kills the tone for me. That is my issue with Selina Kyle in this film. She feels like a cartoon in what I see as a gritty movie. Think if Porky Pig was in the movie Joker and was trying to be kinda serious throughout, but he was still Porky Pig. That shit would just not work. The way she walks, out of a cartoon. Her lines feel like they're out of a cartoon. Hell, her arc seems like a cartoon character's arc almost. She keeps the fact that she is a massive crime boss's daughter to herself and away from Batman for no reason. And then she wants to kill said crime boss because he killed her mom and her friend slash roommate or whatever it is. But then, after having the entire movie where she wants to kill him, she is cartoonishly turned off the idea by Batman in a matter of maybe 3 lines of dialogue. And then just 5 minutes later, the guy is killed anyways because the Riddler shoots him. Okay. Also, Batman was initially trying to keep Falcone, the crime boss, alive so he would spill the beans about who the Riddler could be and other corrupt people who he's in cahoots with. But it didn't matter. He died anyways. Just boop, there he goes. It would have been a much more interesting development if Selina did end up killing Falcone herself because, well, Catwoman's a villain.
Oh no, she's an anti-hero.
Anti-heroes do villain stuff. Have her do something that makes sense morally. I mean, he killed 2 people that are very close to Selina, but also do something morally questionable, i.e. killing the motherfucker. Plus, she just ends up ditching Bruce at the end of the movie anyways, because Gotham is a lost cause, so have her kill the guy, have her split up with her romantic interest, be over a moral issue, which makes sense and would lead to an actual emotional impact, accommodate for those changes in the script, of course, and then boom, you got yourself an interesting Catwoman. Cut out her cheesy lines as well, and not only do you have an interesting Catwoman, but you've also got an interesting human, realistic character. Again, it would make total sense if she killed Falcone, but that didn't mean that she had to cross the line and do it. Perfect for Catwoman. And I get it. It's a comic book movie. It's a comic book movie. She's a comic book character. That's why she's cartoony. Batman doesn't go around with shark repellent in this movie. Catwoman shouldn't walk around like a Fleischer cartoon. Ooh, but she's a waitress. Okay, Catwoman's line shouldn't be out of a SpongeBob episode. But other than that, the only other issues I can say about this movie are here. This movie could have had maybe 20 minutes cut out. Certain scenes just drag out for a tad too long, but the movie does not feel like it's 3 hours, let me assure you. However, I would have appreciated if maybe a couple more minutes of those 3 hours were dedicated to action scenes. What we have here is good, but it might not be enough for some in the quantity department, and I just so happen to fall into that category. And finally, and this is a big spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, go again. The Joker should not be in this movie. Look, I get it. He's iconic. It wouldn't feel right to have Batman without the Joker, but man, Batman Begins did a Joker tease so much better. Just a little Joker card towards the end of the film. Boom, perfect. Ominous, not too much, lets the audience get excited over the possibilities of, oh, what would the Joker be like? What would he look like? Who's gonna play him in the next film, etc. But here, you get a good view of most of his face, and you also get a clear idea that this dude is kinda an incel like the Riddler here. Cool, I guess, I like realistic Joker kind of, but man, it is disappointing to have that surprise blown right there. And it's not even an end credits scene. This movie has great pacing, other than that. Again, this doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie at all. But the ending did feel like it dragged on for a little bit, and this is a major factor of why. Costume design in this movie is great. This is the coolest looking Batsuit by far, with apologies to Rubber Keaton and Bat Nipples. Catwoman's costume does look pretty down to earth and neat too, and I like how Selena Kyle switches wigs and junk. That's a nice touch. Also, it's kind of divisive, but Riddler I feel looks good. He looks menacing. Music in this movie is pretty good. Not great, just pretty good. Tone in this movie is especially good. The cinematography and color palettes, those reds are super cool and add to the tone intensely. Film noir is a great genre to take Batman in. I mean, he's the world's greatest detective, so it makes sense. Also, I might recommend looking at this movie as a film noir and not a superhero movie. It's got action, but it ain't the main idea of the movie in all honesty. I mean, Batman is fighting Toothpick Riddler, so you should probably realize this movie's main aspect won't be the action. It'll be mystery. There you go. That said, again, like I said earlier, the action is good. Could've used a bit more, but also, here's this. It's a little disappointing, but nothing in this movie tops the one scene in Batman vs. Superman. You know which one I'm talking about. However, this movie is still brutal and fun. That scene they blew in the trailer is still fantastic in the movie. Batman going down for more is fantastic. Batmobile looks pretty sick. And speaking of the Batmobile, again, I'd like to emphasize that I love the realism this movie has. The equipment Bruce has looks like low-tech stuff because, again, he's only been doing this for 2 years. Heck, I absolutely love how this inexperience that he has and the low-tech shine throughout the film. Like, it's always there. Batman gets beaten up a lot in this movie. Like the scene where Batman botches his gliding with his parachute and scrapes against the top of a bus when fleeing from the police, that got me to audibly say ouch. And sure, Batman's suit may be bulletproof, but if he gets shot in the ribs point blank by an incel Riddler henchman with a shotgun, that mofo's gonna be down for the count for a little while. He had to take like either adrenaline or venom, you know, Bane stuff, to get his head back into the game. So yeah, pretty cool. Also, another good realism touch, when the bat signal shines, you bet your ass criminals of Gotham would be scared. Also, this movie feels like an Arkham game. Like a lot.
Overall, good movie. Not great, not bad, just good. 7.5 out of 10, I would say. I know I over-centralized on tone and realism in this movie, and I know a lot of people might not exactly like that in terms of a film review, but considering the director's other movies, and considering Batman, and considering that I feel that's kind of what he was trying to do here with this movie, I felt that was kind of the crucial element that I had to analyze, and although it's good, it has that major flaw. Catwoman is a major character, that's the thing. Anyways, I hope you liked that review. If you want me to review other movies, please let me know. And stick around, because I'm also reviewing other stuff that I'm not going to talk about because you f***ers don't deserve that. That's a surprise. Oh god, I did it again. That was uncalled for. No swearing. No swearing. Swearing isn't allowed. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe and maybe share the video. I don't know how to end this. Oh god, this kinda blows.